Thank you, Nicole. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call this hearing to order and acknowledge that we're in Treaty 1 territory and the home and the traditional lands of the Ojibwe, the Cree, Dakota people, and in the national homelands of the Red Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Ron Merritt. I'll be your chairperson this morning. Introducing the panel members via Zoom is Miss Diane Knight and Mr. Kent Celine. Our recording secretary is Nicole Carnegie, and representing the city of Winnipeg from the assessment department is Miss Candace Wright. To the Zoom participants at the hearing, please note that you be placed in the waiting room until your property is called upon. When it is your turn, you will be admitted to the meeting. Kindly follow along the City of Winnipeg Recorder Revision YouTube channel for this hearing. Once the host has admitted you to the hearing, please close or mute your YouTube player. You will then be permitted to speak in respect to the property. Once the hearing has been concluded, you may leave the meeting. This morning, we'll be hearing an application for revision of the assessment rule in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters which revision is requested has been described in each application, and we will limit discussions to those matters. The statements that are made in this hearing are sworn testimony, and anybody speaking in these matters must be sworn in. Please be advised that comparisons of assessments of property are considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The board is appointed annually by City Council and is independent along with the city administration. We make our decisions based on the evidence provided at the hearing and issue a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decision in respect to the application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to application from exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included in the board's order. In respect of the hearing this morning, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the hearing end. We will then have the assessor's testimony, followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then it'll be the applicant's testimony, followed by questions. Each side will have the opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all evidence about the application is brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket this morning. The session will close after all applicants have been heard and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed and recorded and will be part of the public record. The items that we'll be hearing today is 1, 2, and 3 on the docket. So, Ms. Carnegie, can you swear in or affirm the assessor and swear in the applicant? The floor is yours, Ms. Carnegie.
Absolutely. Madam Assessor, please state your full name.
Candace Wright.
You affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
Mr. Applicant, can you please rise? Please state your full name.
Chris Hourhan.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Thank you very
All
much.
right. The first item that we have is the item appearing on the docket, which is number 1, file number 23-182. Ms. Carnegie, I understand that there is nobody here representing his property.
No, there is no applicant present for property number 23-182, and I did not receive any evidence electronically either.
Okay. We will move this item to the bottom of the docket and the panel members will deal with it at further when we almost conclude. So therefore, we'll move on to item number 2, which is 79 Donington Road. And I understand the applicant is here. So we will ask the assessor to take us through this property. So Ms. Wright, whenever you're ready, you take us through this property.
Thank you. The subject property is roll number 010096000865. The street address is 79 Donington Road. This is a piece of vacant land with R1L zoning in the Elmhurst neighborhood. The assessed lot size is 5,998 square feet. The current 2024 assessment is $197,000, which is $32.84 per square foot. This property was purchased post-reference in September of 2021, so I have not included that sale price since it would be post-reference. I have 4 comparables here that are all vacant land in Elmhurst, Varsity View, and Eric Coy neighborhoods. The zoning for these comparables is R1M, R1L, or R1E. The lot size ranges from 5,381 square feet to 7,209 square feet. Comparable 1 on Elmhurst Road has a medium traffic influence. Comparable 3 is located on an external corner with a 4-way stop and a school influence. And comparable number 4 is also on Elmhurst Road with the medium traffic influence. The sale price for these properties ranged from $150,000 to $220,000. Time adjusted, that works out to $160,600 to $222,400, and that gives us a time adjusted sale price per square foot ranging from $27.37 to $35.60. So I feel that the current 2024 assessment of the subject property at $32.84 is supported by market evidence. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, do you have any questions in regards to what you've just heard from the City of Winnipeg's evaluation of your property? Any questions?
I do not at this time, no.
Okay, I thank you. Ms. Knight, any questions in regards to the presentation by the city?
No, sir.
I thank you. Mr. Saline, any questions?
Yes, can you clarify what R1L is and R1M and what's the difference?
I'm not 100% sure on all the details of the exact differences between the two. All R1 zoning would typically be meant for single family development. I believe R1L would be larger lot sizes than R1M, but like I said, I'm not 100% sure on the exact difference between the L and the M. Different rules or regulations that may apply to the two.
Thank you. That's all my questions, Mr. Chair.
I thank you. Ms. Wright, the subject property is roughly 6,000 square feet.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. Yeah. Just slightly under 6,000 square feet.
Okay. So all comparables, the 4 comparables are roughly around the same size except for number 4.
Yeah. Yes. Number 4 would be the largest of the comparables at over 7,000 square feet.
And the most current sale of the comparables is 2021, correct?
Yes. Comparable 3 sold actually just slightly before our reference date in March of 2021.
All right. That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, take us through your presentation and tell us what you think your property is valued at.
Perfect. I'll just add that the only difference between R1M and R1L is the medium versus large. That's definitely what it's referred to. So I'm a commercial realtor, so we go through density and things all the time. But just to confirm, you're correct. It's just medium and large. I would have laid it out
Very good.
nice. I would have laid it out nicer in the way the city did had I been through this before. But if you are referencing my sheet, there's just an Excel spreadsheet that I was fortunate enough to pull from Sabre, which the city uses to look at sold homes and land. Most of mine are noted in the comments there to be vacant lots
Sorry.
that were.
Excuse me, I only have the City of Winnipeg school and municipal taxes.
Yes, I do too.
So you have a
So
spreadsheet, you
is
said?
There should be, yeah, there was a number of documents that I sent in earlier. One is an Excel spreadsheet of comparables.
Okay, let's take a look at that because I don't
Yeah.
think I have that either.
We don't have that.
Yeah, I don't think I have that either. So let's take a look here. Was it part of the document that you sent on Friday?
It was, yeah, I sent a zip file initially and got a bounce back that you
Okay.
couldn't accept a zip, and so I sent them individually.
Yeah, someone else accepted it. I wasn't here, so somebody else accepted it on my behalf. So let me just.
Can I just double check on my email here?
Yeah, for sure.
Give me one quick second, I'll double check that I went through, but
If I can just jump in, I actually do have the document with the 4 pages. So I did receive a copy that has the Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, okay. So
And I'm just gonna look at the original file here. So, and I have the exact same files. I was the one who distributed the evidence, so whatever I sent over to Madam Assessor should be what you guys have in your SharePoint. I wonder if it's just not opening properly. So I can send it to you guys via email. Okay.
I as well have all 4 copies, which include the spreadsheet too. So I have all 4 copies plus the spreadsheet.
Okay, so you can see all the pages, Kent?
Yes.
Well, that's weird. Because all I've got is the 2 tax sheets.
Interesting.
I'm the same, Diane.
it's
Okay.
relatively easy for me to explain what they are, and I'm happy to just run through them in the same way.
Okay, do you want me to keep looking at this document while Mr. Hoerhans keeps speaking?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
So
Yes, I think that would be fine.
okay.
perfect.
think that would be
It's
fine.
relatively easy to explain. Thank you.
You have a copy though, Kent?
I do. Yes.
Okay, well, ask our secretary to keep looking for that. In the meantime, what we can do is continue on, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to email it to you, Ron and Diane, because when I open the SharePoint, I see all 4 documents as well.
Weird.
They're
Okay.
1, 2, 3, and 4 if you scroll down. So if it's not working for you, I'm going to send it via
Yeah, I
email.
get 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3.
Okay, I'll email it over. Not a
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
Sorry, sir, go ahead.
So while that's popping up in your email, it's relatively easy to explain. There's a number of comparables that I've included. A lot of them come from directly from the area. They're all residential vacant land. They are all R1M and R1L, and the size ranges were I left it a bit more open, so it's anywhere from 4,300 square feet to about 7,200 square feet lot size. And again, as a reminder, my lot is 5,998, so it's considered to be 6,000 square feet. These sales that I've produced range from a sale in 2022 of $1,900 for the vacant land, all the way up to a sale in 22 of $148,900. Most of the sales that were referenced are in 2022.
I'm going to interrupt for 1 second. We need that. I think we're probably best to wait until we receive it.
Sure.
Then
Okay, it's on its way. I've just sent it.
Yep, no problem.
All right. So Diane, when you receive it. So
Is it coming
Bear
separate
with us
email?
For,
Is it coming by a separate email, or you just added it into the docket?
No, I just sent it to in a separate email as an attachment.
Okay, second.
so just give us 1 or 2 minutes, okay?
No problem.
Okay.
Okay, so then you've listed a whole bunch of residents on the 4th page. That's what you're talking about?
Yes, it's the long
Okay.
Excel page I'm referring to, yes.
So it's there now.
All right. Proceed, sir.
Perfect. So as you'll note there's a range, again, from just over 4,000 to 7,000, just over 7,000 square feet. The sales I've included are back from 2021 up to 2023, understanding that we're looking at a 2021 date approximately. They range from $1,900 to $148,900. Most of these sales come from newer developments in the area, so you've got some development costs that are going to be sunk into that vacant land. One thing to note about my property specifically, it is a heavily treed lot. It would require quite a bit of cost to take down the trees and grade the lot to get to a development standpoint for a new build. So there's a considerable amount of cost that goes into that first, whereas a lot of these new development lots are ready to go for new builders. So based on these comparables, again, I'm not coming and saying my land is worth $1,900. I think those are a bit of an outlier. But based on this, I would put it probably closer to the $100,000 mark, $115,000 based on the averages here that I've presented. Just a few comments in regards to the city's comparables that were just stated on Elmhurst, McLean, Dieppe, and another one on Elmhurst. So most of these lots here, aside from comparable number 2, which is 283 McLean, the other lots are in fact larger lots than my own. You've got 6,250 square feet, 6,776, and 7,209. So those larger lots are certainly going to hold more value to them. As well, one of the lots, comparable number 3, 567 Dieppe, that one is in fact a corner lot that is in front of a school. I would argue there's a lot more value in that lot as well. And a lot of these also have excess land behind their properties. If you look at the property maps, which I don't unfortunately have in front of me, but if you pull up these comparables from the city, there's rows of land behind many of these comparables that separate them from their neighbors. As well as have smaller setbacks in the front of those properties, which again, you've got more room for the house and build and less for things like driveways and neighbors to be there. So based on that information, I'm seeking a reduction. One more thing to note, that I will acknowledge that this does not come into play whatsoever. We're not looking at a comparable here, but I've supplied the property map noting my assessed value at $197,000. This same exact size lot 2 doors down was assessed at $9,000. Again, this is not coming into play, but something that I have a tough time not considering when I'm looking at that. And then across the street, there's 2 lots that are they add up to the same size. One's 4,900 and one's 4,300 for assessed value. So again, I realize that current assessed values are not coming into play here, but they are all vacant lots right next door to each other. I think that's all the comments I had from what I viewed from the city and what I have in front of you there. So I will leave it at that.
What's the date we're using for
Just write
finishing?
questions of the applicant. I'm sorry?
What's the date that we're using for finishing here? Like she said, there was a purchase September 2021. That would be post reference. So what's the date that we're using? Is it April 2021?
Yes, April 2021.
Okay, so then all of these here, a lot of these here are post reference. Is that right? You've got January 18th, you've got October 14th, you've got June 24th, 2022. Those are all post reference, correct?
You're talking about my
Right.
spreadsheet?
Yes, yes.
Post reference being anything from what date onward? Sorry, from
April 2021.
April 2021. Yeah, there would be some post reference, and then there's multiple that are
Okay,
before that date as well.
okay. Do you have a map that shows where all these streets are compared to where your street is? Because
I
these
do
are
not.
all R1M and you are in R1L.
There's R1L and R1M. I don't have a map. The first blanks that do not have an address are just down the street
R1L,
on
yeah.
Community Row. So it's
Okay.
very close to the subject property.
Okay.
And the remainder are all within Ridgewood West, which is just southwest of the property by a 3-minute drive, I want to say.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I can also remove.
Mr. Wright,
Sorry.
Mr. Wright, questions of the applicant?
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm sorry.
I didn't want to stop you.
Yeah, sorry.
Mr. Wright,
Yeah, I think you kind of addressed it already, that the first few there may be some outliers. So my question was, were you aware that those first 5, I believe it's 5 comparables that had quite substantially lower sale prices, that they currently are landlocked properties? So it looks like there is the intention to build a road at some point, but it doesn't actually exist. So were you aware that at this time those properties are landlocked?
I am aware of that, yes.
Okay. And then just one other question. So it looks like the rest of the comparables are in that new Ridgewood West development.
Yep.
Do you feel that being in a new development, a new subdivision like that would affect the market value compared to being more infill lots like your property? Do you feel that that would affect the market value at all?
As in adjust the market value up or down being in a new development? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, new development versus more of an infill lot, such as your property. Do you feel that would have an effect on the market value?
Yes, I think there's an effect there. I know that a lot of the new developments are closer to being ready to build on, right? So they're back to my initial comment of tree removal and grading of the lots. New developments are typically taking that on and having that ready for a new buyer. So you can call it hit the build switch quicker and faster with any builder. You're having to take on a lot of those costs yourself, or contract that out, or have your own builder do that when you're in an infill lot. Especially for my lot specifically has never had a house on it. When we purchased it in 2021, my wife and I were planning for kids, which we now had our first kid 2 months ago. So we're getting ready to that build stage now, but we knew we wanted to be in the area. We knew there was never a house on it. We knew there would be existing costs coming forward, but took advantage of a good opportunity through a private sale. So it's always been a treed lot, and an additional cost is there. So for that reason specifically, I do feel that affects the value.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you. Ms. Knight, I think you brought up the question, anything post reference to the
Sorry.
V-Day will not be considered.
Right.
Any questions? Any other questions?
When did you purchase the lot?
I purchased it in 2021. It would be, I want to say September, but I cannot remember the exact date now.
Okay, thank you.
I thank you. Mr. Celine?
Yes, from your spreadsheet, which property would you say is the best comparison to your property?
I would say you can consider well, the closest to location would be the R1L same zoning in the community row. So any of the top 5. However, I would adjust that value upwards to my property because, as Mr. Wright stated, they are landlocked, so that needs to be considered. So, you know, my property isn't worth $20,000; it's got to go up from there. Any of the remainders can be considered that was around the date of 2021 that we're talking about. They're all in the same area, so they're all very much so identical lots, aside from the size. So if I was to pick one, I would say, I don't have numbers on these columns, but I can refer to an address for you. I would say most comparable is probably 149 McCrindle, or sorry, I'll pick a different date for you here. Let's say 71 Dedrick. It's 54 square feet, sold in March of 2021 for 117.9. But again, you can consider many of them based on the dates. They're all similar price points. In the 2021 date range, you're looking at a range probably from $110,000 to $120,000, sorry. I would have to filter out some of that data. I didn't realize there was a post date specifically, so my apologies. I would have left the 2022s out.
Have you done any work with respect to the cost to clear the trees and grade your lot? Do you have a cost which would incur?
I haven't done any of that work up to this date. We bought it in 2021 and just started a family, so have been taking a pause on the build. We have a builder that we've hired to go through the plans, and we're in that stage right now of working through new home plans. They have not given us a cost as to how much it would be specifically to grade and take down the trees and then grade the lot. I would assume that's tens of thousands of dollars. It's not cheap to take down trees and grade the lot upwards. It does need grading upwards in comparison to the other homes.
Okay, that's all my questions. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I thank you. Mr. Wright, summation if you so desire.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything, but just a quick summation is I feel that my comparables are closer to the subject property. These are all infill lots on streets that have been developed previously, which I mean, it's difficult to say the effect on market value versus a new subdivision, but my comparables, I feel, are more similar to the subject property in that regard. So I do feel that the current assessment is supported by the market evidence that I presented. Thank you.
I thank you. Mr. Howraham, final word in summation, if you want.
Of course. I appreciate that the city has these 4 comparables here. I don't think it shows the many other comparables we could probably pull. I feel that almost all of these lots here are larger than my lot, which holds a lot more value when you're speaking about a residential home. An extra 200 to 1,000 square feet on a lot allows you a lot extra room to build a home. Additionally, all but one of these comparables has additional land surrounding the home that separates them from the neighbors, and that provides additional value, as well as being close to schools. So larger lots would be the biggest factor, and I do feel that the comparables I provided should be considered. Although there's a new development there, you know, a difference of almost $100,000 is significant.
All right. Thank you very kindly for your presentation, and results very soon. So you're free to go, and thank you for your attendance.
Thank you very much.
Have a pleasant day.
Thanks, you as well.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go on to item number 3. Ms. Wright, we're going to go to Hudson Street, and the floor is going to be yours for your presentation. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Chair, I'm just waiting for Ms. Cates to confirm that she can hear and see us because I've readmitted her via Zoom.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get her sworn in also.
Yes. Ms. Cates, are you able to hear us?
I am. Can you hear me?
Okay, wonderful. Madam applicant, please state your full name.
Farah Cates.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Cage, you're familiar with the routine here, so Ms. you can take us to this property, which is on Hudson Street. The floor is yours, Ms. Wright.
Okay, thank you. The subject property is roll number 03092997060. This is a piece of vacant residential land on Hudson Street, which is in the Maybank neighborhood. Zoning is R1L. The assessed lot size is 16,975 square feet. It is currently unserviced and near a rail line. The current 2024 assessment is $30,000, which works out to $1.77 per square foot. Now, this property is fairly unique in that it is currently unserviced within an established neighborhood. So it is assessed quite a bit lower than the comparables I've selected. So I have 4 pieces of vacant residential land here that are all in either Maybank, Beaumont, or Point Road neighborhoods. All of these properties have R1M or R1L zoning. The lot size ranges from 5,106 square feet to 11,364 square feet. Comparable 1's on an internal corner, comparable 2 is near a school, and comparable 3 is also near a school. The sale price for these properties range from $133,000 to $242,000. That's time adjusted to a range of $133,800 to $242,500. And that gives us a time adjusted sale price per square foot range from $14.85 to $35.93. So as you can see, the current assessment is substantially lower than any of these comparables due to its location and the fact that it is currently unserviced. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Cates, any questions for the assessor?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Knight, any questions?
No, sir.
I thank you. Mr. Seling?
No questions, Mr. Chair.
I thank you. Ms. Cates, your presentation?
Thank you. So at this time, I would just like to request a confirmation of the 2024 assessment per section 54(1) of the Municipal Act. This property was appealed in association with the main holding, which is a personal care property. So we'll just be asking for confirmation pending the results of that appeal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Wright, any questions?
No, that's okay. Thank you.
I thank you. Ms. Knight, any questions?
No, sir.
I thank you. Mr. Seling?
Just for confirmation, you mentioned personal care home. Can you just expand?
Yeah, so the adjacent property is a personal care property. That one was appealed. So this property is just a small land parcel. So it was appealed in association with that main appeal, and that appeal has been docketed separately. So we're just asking for a confirmation today of this one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thank you very kindly, Ms. Gates, for your presentation, and you are free to go.
Thank you.
We are going to take a recess and to deliberate the remaining one on docket. So, Ms. Carnegie, you can shut us down.
I sure can.
I thank you. Ms. Wright, we'll call the hearing back to order. Ms. Wright, we moved this property to the end, but you're going to give us the file number, the roll number, and tell us a little bit about the property and what transpired. All right. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So the subject property is roll number 010017599700. Now this is a vacant piece of land with R1E zoning in the Elmhurst neighborhood. It's 58,474 square feet. It is landlocked and unserviced. So the current 2024 assessment is $133,000, which works out to $2.27 per square foot. And being fairly unique that it is a landlocked, unserviced property, I looked for comparables that were similar in that regard. So the best three I could find, and I wanted to find sales that were open market transactions. So that's actually the reason in my evidence I included MLS listings for the three comparables. Those were the three I could find that are landlocked properties that sold on the open market. So for those three, they're all also vacant. They're all landlocked and unserviced. All have R1L zoning, or sorry, R1L, and the third one is R1E in the Betsworth neighborhood. Now the sale price for these ranges from $20,000 to $147,900, but that large range is due to the large range in lot sizes. But the time adjusted sale price per square foot ranged from $1.68 to $4.04. So I do feel that the current assessment of the subject property at $2.27 per square foot is supported by market evidence. Thank you.
Ms. Wright, was there any contact with the owner at all, the applicant?
No, I have not had any contact with the applicant.
Okay, no emails or anything like that, phone calls, no?
No.
All right. I thank you. Ms. Knight, any questions of the assessor?
No, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Singh?
No questions, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Ms. Wright, the subject property has got no water, no sewer, and it's landlocked?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that about concludes your part here, Ms. Wright. So thank you very kindly for your presentations, and we have heard all the scheduled items, and this hearing is now adjourned.